So this week, one of my favorite things that can happen in ministry happened. And I got an email from one of our online viewers asking a question. It's one of my favorite things. I love it. What that tells me is there's curiosity in our community. What it tells me is there's a desire for expansion, for knowledge, for inspiration, and for growth. And that's what we are about here, right? Connecting, growing, evolving. In one of our songs that we're going to sing a little later, there's a line in it, something like, "The wonder that you are." And then I got this email, thank you online viewer, that asked, "What do you mean when you say go within?" What do you mean when you say go within? And I thought, oh, this is a good one. And then I thought, how do you answer that? And really, this is the wonder that you are. Inside each of us is the point where we are connected to all that is. The point where we have access to divine guidance, divine wisdom, divine wholeness. We have direct access. We don't have to convince an outside entity that we are good enough and deserving of divine guidance. We don't have to convince anyone that we are worthy of sacred experience, because it's right here all the time. Now, when we say go within, it's really about focus and attention. So what I do is often I will close my eyes, but I'm going to watch you while I do this. And I get my attention away from my external surroundings. And I bring my attention and my focus inside of myself. Now, I almost don't remember what it was like when I first started doing this, but what it's like now is as soon as I bring my attention inward and I start focusing inside my body and I feel inside my body, I ask myself, what am I feeling physically, not emotionally? What am I feeling physically inside of myself? My attention goes inward. And for me, I end up feeling a column. For some people, they just focus on their heart space. And when we say heart space, we just mean inside right here. Some people, that's where they focus and that's where they feel it. Some people, it's in their solar plexus. Some people, it's about right here in a power center called the Dantian. And for everybody, you know, your experience is correct, even if it's different than mine, even if it's different than your neighbor. I feel a column kind of covering from my heart space down to about here. I feel a column about that big inside of my body. So when I focus within, I find that column. And sometimes I experience it as light. Sometimes I experience it as vibration. And I'll admit, sometimes I just experience it. I say, I know it's there. I'm not feeling it right now, but I know it's there. And that happens when I can't let go of my external attention. Sometimes I have worries or concerns, and I attempt to go within and focus on that divine core of my being. And sometimes I just continue my worries and concerns. And I give it a good try, and if it doesn't work, I just set that exercise aside and I try again later. So when we go within, first we have to be aware that we're not within, right? We have to be aware that our attention and our energy and our life is all on the drama of what's happening outside of ourselves. Does anybody have any drama happening outside of yourself? And we can get caught up in that, right? We can get caught up in that. And at some point, we become aware that maybe we're not experiencing joy the way we want to. Maybe we are allowing ourselves to get really caught up in the angst of a challenge in life. One of my big triggers for that used to be my adult children, because they don't live their life the way I want them to. They make choices that I think are the wrong choices. And I allowed myself to get caught up in that, and then I'd start worrying about them. Well, they're going to have these, they're going to get hurt, and they're going to have, their tender hearts broken, and they're going to do this and that. And that's their journey, man. Go get your heart broke. Some of my greatest life lessons and growth experiences came from heartbreak. So once I notice I'm all up in my kids' business, or I'm all worried about my finances and I can't think of anything else, or I'm all worried about Unity by the Bay and what are we doing here and how come that person hasn't showed up for 3 weeks, and do they not like me anymore? Did somebody hurt their feelings? Oh my gosh, I know that the flowers that they helped plant died. Is it that? That's all ridiculous, right? But I do it. So what happens is we become aware that we're doing that. And that's the first step. We become aware. And then we make a choice. And we go within. And we become aware of that connection. We become aware that at the core of our being, there is connection. Connection in whatever word works for you. You can say God, you can say spirit, you can say the universe, you can say all that is. I like to say all that is, or the universe, because it helps my consciousness wrap around the idea that I am connected to something so much bigger than the human being that is Sarah. So we recognize that connection. And then the next step is to listen. This is what we're talking about when we say that still small voice within. We listen. It's introspective, it's quiet, it's gentle. And sometimes when we're pushing for an answer, pushing for guidance, pushing for relief from whatever the drama of our life is, we don't hear anything. And the reason is because we can't hold our attention to the outer world, the physical world, and simultaneously hold our attention on divinity. So when we're able to go within, experience that connection, open ourselves up to listen, the next step is to have confidence and faith that what we hear is truth, that what we hear is divine guidance. I remember when I was first on my unity journey, I asked the question, how do I know it's not my mind telling me what the answer is and that it is divine guidance? And all of my teachers said, well, you'll know. And then I would go and I would meditate and I would hear something and I was like, I don't know. Is that just my mind telling me, or is that my divine guidance? And I don't know when it happened. I don't know if it was, 10 meditations in or 200 meditations in, or, the moonlight was coming in the window in the right way. I don't know when it happened, but at some point with practice, because this is a learned skill, even though we're remembering eternity, we're remembering all that is. It's a learned skill to go there because we had, however old you are today, we've had that many years of experience of focusing outward. So after practice, however much practice that was, I came out of meditation and I knew that was divine guidance. And I remember thinking back to one of my teachers and I was like, took long enough. You'll just know. I like instant gratification. Oh, meditate, go get divine guidance, know what to do. Okay, let's do that now. So we realize we need some, let's just use divine guidance. I realize I need that. I pause, I go within, I become aware of my connection, I open myself to listen for divine guidance. I actually get some, and then what? And then I have to have the courage and the confidence and the faith to follow through, whatever that is. And different sacred texts are full of this. The Bible is full of different stories. All the sacred texts are full of different stories of whatever our main character is. They are told by God that they have to do something. And it's really hard to do. Whatever it is. Build an ark. I was going to say kill your kid. That's a different kind of story. But we get this divine guidance, and sometimes it takes courage to do. I've shared the story with you that of when my son was 17, he wanted to go live with his dad. And I knew his tender, gentle heart would get crushed. I just knew it. I just knew that would happen. And so I said, no. When you're 18, a year from now, you can do that if you want. As soon as I don't have power over you, you can do that. But while I have control over you and your life, you will do what I say, and that is stay here. And I meditated, and my divine guidance was basically don't steal away his experience. Allow him his life journey. And I knew I needed to send him to live with his dad, even though that's not what I wanted. Even though I knew what at least some of the consequences would be. So I had to have the courage and the faith in that message, that it was divine guidance, that it was the right thing to do. I had to have faith in that and confidence in my ability to watch what happened. Because those consequences were going to happen. And I had to have the confidence in myself that I could be present while my son experienced those consequences. So we basically bought a one-way ticket, sent him off to get his heart crushed. His heart was crushed. And he didn't want his mom to help him pick up the pieces. And I had to have faith that I could allow him his life experience without forcing myself upon him, because my divine guidance was telling me to let him be. Have you ever felt, if I love this person, I must get involved? Anybody feel that way, or is it just me? I love you, I must insert myself into your life. But when divine guidance tells us otherwise, we have to, one, have the courage, and two, the confidence, and three, the faith. We have to trust that divine guidance is divine guidance and that it's the right thing to do. And have confidence that we can withstand, that we can endure, that we can move through, hopefully with a little ease and grace, the outcome of whatever that challenge is. Now, the story with my son, for me, the consequences were all like internal, alone with me, because he was out there experiencing his life on his own. And that was a difficulty that I was not expecting. I was expecting him to call me up and say, "Mommy, I need you. Can I come home?" And he didn't. Our daily word for today speaks to this. Aligned with my divine nature, which is what we do when we go and we become aware of that connection and we open up. Aligned with my divine nature, I am a beacon of light for others. I am a beacon of light for others. I love this. Sometimes the daily word is fantastic, and today is one of those days. I am a spiritual being, fully human and fully divine. One of the phrases that I dislike is, "I'm only human." No, you're not. You're fully human and fully divine. There's not a part of you that is human and that little tiny spark of divinity, in 3 cells of your body. You are one expression of all that is. Now, of course, we have limitations, because to be manifest in the physical world, we have to limit infinity to something, right? I'm limited as I've been limited, squashed down to a human being. I'm 5'4". I'm never going to be 6'3". I've always wanted to get like stilts or really tall shoes just to see what the experience is to be taller than everybody else. But I'll never be 6'3". Some of our limitations are pretty set. I'm not going to wake up one day and be a frog, although that would be cool. Or a turtle. That'd be cooler. But the limitations that we put on ourselves that are not set, those limitations that we put on ourselves that limit our life experience. Like, oh, I'm only 5'3", I can't experience basketball. Well, I may never be on the WNBA, but I can play basketball if I want. I don't want. But I could if I wanted to. What I'd like for us to do today is do an exercise of divine guidance. And if you have, do you have a question in your life? Does anybody have a situation in their life where they're seeking guidance and we can walk through the exercise as an example? I know I'm putting y'all on the spot. Tell me your deepest, darkest secret and let me share it publicly. What next for you in your life? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to walk us, we're not going to actually do this one, but we're going to, because we want her to be able to do it during the exercise, but we're going to walk through it so you can see the example. So first, we turn our attention within. We see if we can feel or maybe image in our mind's eye, somehow experience the inner core of who and what we are. I experience that as a pillar. You might just intuitively be drawn to your heart or intuitively be drawn to your solar plexus. Whatever it is, just trust that and go and run with it. And then we open. I like to imagine literal doors, as if my mind is closed and I open the sacred doors. My doors are big and heavy and made of really dark wood and look like a monk carved them. That's what, in my imagination, what the doors of my mind look like. And then I imagine that I have doors on my heart, and I literally, in my imagination, open the doors to my heart. So my mind and my heart are open to listen to that still small voice within that is in that core of my being. And then we sit in that openness. And we ask the question, what next? What is next for me? And then we sit for a while in that, listening. Not trying to force it. Not trying to convince. I'm really ready. It's okay. I won't blow you off this time. I will trust. I will trust. It's going to be a bad thing, isn't it? Okay. Maybe it's a good thing. It'll be a good thing. I'm gonna focus on it being a good thing. We don't do any of that. We simply open and listen with faith that divine guidance is ours. Divine guidance is our right. It's a birthright to be claimed by us. And then something will come to us, and then we have to have the courage and the confidence to act on it. All right, so you guys get what we're doing? So think of your thing. Your thing might be what's next. Your thing might be, should I retire or should I wait 5 years? Or maybe I retired. Should I get a job? I'm bored. Or maybe it's not a yes, no. Maybe it's how do I nurture a healthy relationship with my loved one? What is mine to see and know about this relationship? And sometimes you really got to muster a lot of courage for that, to hear what your part of the dissonance in the relationship is. All right, so everybody got something? I like to, when I move from intellectual exercise to a sacred exercise, I like to take 3 deep breaths. So we can do that together. Inhale, big. Audible exhale. Again. One more time. We bring our attention inward. Acknowledge and embrace that indwelling core of your being. The part of you that is sacred and holy and connected. Just be with that part of yourself for a moment. And if you don't feel something, just hold in your mind's eye that at the core of your being there is holiness, sacredness, connection. You might image a bright light, white or golden or silver or a different color. Whatever comes to you, just go with that. See if you can sense it, feel it, see it in your mind's eye. And however you think of it, asking your higher self, asking God, asking the universe, asking the interconnectedness of all that is, pose your question. I am open and ready for divine guidance on my life situation. I am open and ready for divine guidance. And we'll sit for a few moments in silence. As we allow our attention to come back to the room, back to our outer experience, we can muster up gratitude. If you heard divine guidance, you can be grateful for that, for the experience of being open, for the experience of listening, for the experience of that direct feedback. If you did not hear anything, we can muster up gratitude for the experience, for the practice, for the intention of allowing time to sit with the sacred self. And if you did receive divine guidance, I invite you to set an intention for follow-through. And you might just say in your mind, I will And if you can't bring yourself to say, I will do the thing, I am open to a new experience with whatever your life situation is. So as we let this experience go, I invite you to say, Amen. Amen. And I hope that as you move forward in the days and weeks to come, that you take the time to go within, to notice the connection to all that is, the connection to God, the connection to the universe, the part of you that is sacred and holy, and trust and have faith that that part of you is divinity and holds all divine wisdom, all divine understanding, all divinity, and that you can trust and have confidence in what you hear from your divine self. Namaste. you.